Well, I've already done an introduction for this on the other video, so I might as well get into this. This is going to be the final video on my favorite stands, and there's a few things I missed in the first one. So here's what I meant. A shirt design like this. That's how it's said, and I got a question on how I know Giorno's voice. Well, you know, the games. But at the same time, we don't have the same voice actor for Josuke, so I can understand the confusion. This is Killer Queen's voice. It might sound the same as Kira because it is Kira, but most stands that speak share the same voice actor. That's why you could never tell the difference between a Star Platinum aura and a Jotaro aura. Well, you probably can, there's different voice effects, and that's what I missed. So, let's get on into the stands. Now, we are in Vento Aureo territory, and my first stand is going to be Gold Experience. In the previous video, I told everyone that there was a stand to contest my #1 spot with another one, and the two duking it out are Killer Queen and Gold Experience. Killer Queen was one where I was able to get almost everything I had to feel about the stand into words, but it's a bit difficult with Gold Experience. I think one of the major reasons is due to how the stand was written to work with Giorno, and since Giorno is already one of my favorite characters, his stand accentuated this hidden appeal to his character. GE with the ability of Life Giver, where if anything gets these hands of life, many things can happen. That's another reason why I like the stand. Many things can happen, and they do. I love it when a stand isn't limited to its ability, and the ability makes the stand and user think outside the box on execution of said ability. Then there's the stand cry. There's something about Gold Experience yelling Muda over a variation of aura that makes me love the stand even more. And trust me, you're going to get a lot of Muda. I don't know how it's going to translate into the anime, but it's going to be a big one when we get there. On the design, I love the direction Araki went with the stands when going on into part 5. Gold Experience closely relating to who Giorno is through the design and all the little details to make it all the better. From the ladybugs to the noticeable angel wings you'll see on its shoulders. And side note, when I see wings like this, I think of War Turtle, and I like the wings on both characters, or well, stand, person, and Pokemon. There's also a couple of side notes created by Araki about his thoughts on the design of Gold Experience in JoJo Agogo that I could feel and agree with. Next, there's the sounds you get with the stand and how Giorno says Gold Experience and Muda Muda. Giorno speaking in general is just beautiful, and Muda Muda is overall my favorite stand cry. Second being Ari Ari, third Vola Via, and fourth being how Tusk says aura, which is probably the best aura because of how off-putting it is. And lastly, the musical reference. Any Prince reference is a good reference. So, final thoughts, amazing ability, favorite stand cry, amazing design, fighting for my #1 spot for my favorite stand, and great musical reference. The next part 5 stand is going to be Black Sabbath. Let's just get something out of the way first. Black Sabbath was already a hard name. No pun, that's an extremely metal name. Turning this name into a stand had to have been a hard job, but it completely paid off. The stand had the ability of drawing power from shadows. Having a power based around shadows with a name like Black Sabbath had me love the stand already, but the fight was even a bigger reason. Not going into detail to those that haven't even read it, I'm going to tell you that it's a good fight. The final point being the design and the stand meets along with the rest of the Triforce of what I like about stands. The other two things being name and ability. The design of Black Sabbath fits so well, I don't really have much to say. You can even go about the X-Words video for that one. It's actually, I love that too. This is a stand where everything connects, and I think that alone was it for me. It got to a point of where I told myself to buy something to commemorate how great Black Sabbath is, but you can't buy a single figure because everything is sold out. Final thoughts, I don't think Black Sabbath is a stand of all stands like how Star Platinum is portrayed to be, but I think that Black Sabbath is one of the few stands that shows how they're supposed to be designed. Like, they meet on all points possible, and it's amazing. For the next stand, White Album. I'm sure that I like the stand a lot due to the fight we had, but speaking on why I liked it because of the fight, I've mentioned that I love adaptability when it comes to stands, and White Album is one of the few stands that you'll get that's meant to adapt to all of these situations being thrown at it. I think one major thing that I'll enjoy that goes hand in hand with the stand's adaptability is White Album's ability to skate. Then there's stand design and stand name. Now, let me tell you this. I'll be one of the first people to make a musical leitmotif once we get the White Album fight animated, and me doing that with while my guitar gently weeps, it's game over. Jokes aside, I feel like White Album has the same case as Black Sabbath, the clean-cut design matching with the great reference and finishing off with an amazing ability. I don't see any way White Album could be any more White Album, and that's probably the reason why I like it so much. Or well, it's to be honest with you, it's probably due to the skating. And the final stand for Vento Aureo. Rolling Stones. Reason? The Rolling Stones arc. I don't have to say anymore. If you haven't read it, please do. If you haven't read part 5, please do. It's great. On to Stone Ocean. The first stand is going to be Diver Down. First reason, it's the best stand name to say at any time possible. Why? It's probably due to it being an alliteration. I'm sure that you can have any JoJo voice actor say Diver Down in the way that they call out their stand, and it would be amazing on every actor possible. It got to the point where I'll call out Diver Down anytime I'm doing something in a game that involves a downward input. It's usually spiking in Smash Bros. On design, I already liked it, but I had one of my favorite colors as the color scheme, along with the other colors that follow a square color harmony, the color being sea green, and I would have said that I had two favorite colors if the pink was a bit more purple instead, but it's still great since the pink being used matches Anasui. On its ability, I believe that it's some of the most interesting abilities I'd seen in Stone Ocean. Its power storage and restructure ability aren't something that can be easily categorized in terms of power, so I enjoy how different it was and how it was executed in the part. And finishing it off, it's a Van Halen reference. So final thoughts, you don't mess with the Diver Down. The next stand is Weather Report. Weather Report controls the weather. His stand user, Weather Report. Whose stand is Weather Report, and Weather Report controls the weather. I think I got my explanation across. The simplicity of the stand design is something that was heavily needed for the stand, though I wouldn't have said no to a few more details being added like how Underworld was done. On the ability, I love weather control. Weather control alone has access to so many things, and how it works for Weather Report makes it even more interesting. With being able to mess around with the attributes of the weather, he's also able to recreate recorded weather phenomena. So guess what? If it somehow rained cows, Weather Report could be out here making it rain cows. So final thoughts, Weather Report is a stand that controls the weather. Now for the final stand, or well, stands. Whitesnake, Sea Moon, and Made in Heaven. They all have similar reasoning, so there's no real need to separate, and they're also variations, so they might as well just have it all together. But this is one of the cases where I think Araki had created something that completely matched a character, but he did it 3 times back to back for the same character. It's insane. I want to go fully in depth with more than just my reasoning, and more on why Pucci and his stands are so great, but I'll save that for a different video though, since I don't already talk about Stone Ocean. It really deserves its respective time, but to hit some bullet points without it getting too large, Whitesnake is one of the most necessary stands I had seen in a JoJo part, and while it reasonably has its large nicks, I still love the stand. Sea Moon has one of the best stand introductions I've ever seen, and his ability for what it did in its introduction arc was amazing. That also goes hand in hand with Made in Heaven 2, which is a Queen reference, which means it gets extra points free. And since my bullet points sum up final thoughts, great design on all, and we're done with Stone Ocean. Now, getting down into Steel Ball Run. The first stand, Catch the Rainbow. Reason 1, rain manipulation. Reason 2, Reason 1 combined with being an assassin instantly makes you into a cool minor antagonist. Also, complete side note that I forgot to mention, I love rain. I love it. You'll see my love for it mostly in Pokemon, where I'm able to have my favorite Pokemon have a rain-based ability, and everything around it is it's a great thing. I love water too. Drink a lot of water, it's good for you. But seeing Blackmore walk on raindrops and having the sound effect symbol on it had me feel the same way that I do when I see Killer Queen pose right before a kill. That whole doom, like you see it and you'll lose your mind. There wasn't too much to think about the stand design-wise, but it also being a mask was something that I enjoyed when it came to the interaction in that arc. It was something so simple yet so distinct. It was amazing. The next stand is going to be Tusk Act 4. It's difficult to rank my favorites, but I'm sure that Tusk Act 4 has top 5 stand designs for me, which is difficult to adjust due to how many stands I've already mentioned here. It's no question that Act 4 is my favorite set of curtains, and I already told you guys how much I love its stand cry. I'm not sure how to speak on how much I like its ability, but I'll tell you this. Spin is the cooler older brother of Hamon, and Tusk Act 4 is the jacket they're known with. Final thoughts, Spin is amazing. Amazing stand design and the best aura out here. For the final stand in Steel Ball Run, dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Alliterations, they're amazing. D4C to me is the stand embodiment of Valentine. Its dimensional hop ability is more than what it's shown to be. I believe that all the villains have abilities circulated on their person, and this ability holds a lot of meaning for the life of Valentine. The stand design is exactly how you'd picture Valentine's stand. Elegant, clean, light, and loud. With ears that big, this stand design yells at me. I love the little light blue and pink. I believe that it sets this peaceful tone with the stand despite it being extremely deadly. The name reference, it speaks for itself. I'm sure everyone knows AC/DC. No, not the Pillar Man. Please, it's not here. Just not here. Final thoughts, such a beautiful stand design. And deep and powerful ability. I know someone's going to comment something about me saying that. Just please. And the best name possible for this stand. Alright, so we're finally here. JoJolian. And to make it easier, I'm only going to go with what I feel like I truly know on this. The first stand is going to be Le Feu. I love this arc and honestly thought it was pretty funny in the part. For what it does, I love it. The fight wasn't even exactly a fight. It was just Gappy and Joshua being as confused as they could be. And that alone made me enjoy it. I love them being these little stands make you want to own one as a pet or have a figure or plush or something. For the plush, I could say it's for my dog, but it's truly only for me. I also love the name. I'm upset I only knew this song due to Frank Sinatra, especially since a good amount of his songs already have multiple variations of them from other artists, and there has to be an original of them somewhere. I love Frank, but I'm feeling the original one way more. Final thoughts on the stand though, it's cute. You little stand, it's a little cute. And for my final stand here, soft and wet. I can make a follow-up video on this once JoJolian is finished and I can run through it again 2 more times. But soft and wet has been the only stand that I feel like I know enough to have an opinion on, especially since it's the stand of the protagonist. Its ability is personally one of the best ones I've seen, but that's probably not a surprise since I already mentioned on how adaptable I love stands to be. With soft and wet being out here and just plundering laws of science, I love the stand so much. The design very closely relates to Gappy. The stand falls into the same case as Black Sabbath for me personally, where everything just clicks on it. Especially the name referencing soft and wet. I'll listen to soft and wet and just think about all these manga panels of multiple fights, creating a leitmotif in my head. I do that with a lot of stands, come to think of it. The final thoughts on it all. Great stand, great user, amazing ability, soft and wetto. And that's going to be it. A thought I had was creating a monthly playlist for those that use Apple Music. I talk about how much I like songs, but I don't really give you guys anything else. I might even get a Spotify and create a playlist there if you guys want to. I personally wouldn't be constantly using it, but I would do it there if that's what you guys want, and that's where the majority of the people are. But personally, I'm Apple Music because it's just convenient to me. Follow my Twitter and Instagram to stay updated. Follow my Twitch to catch all my streams, which I'm getting back into since I'm back from my trip and not as sick anymore. I recently streamed Kirby Battle Royale. It was pretty fun. I'm gonna be doing that more. Probably gonna get ranked. Go do that. Sub to my second channel if you guys haven't already. That's where you guys can see me upload other things. My last video was a character analysis on Giovanni from Pokemon. Well, it depends on what day I'm uploading this. So you guys can go in there and leave your part 5 comments because some of you already did. And I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, peace out and Godspeed.